And what? And by the way, what's the beef with Cross?
He was, he's smarter than everybody. You know, he went to Emerson, and he's one of these jerk-off alternative comics who thinks he's smarter than everybody.
Right.
And look, Mr. Show was funny. I'll be like, I think Bill Maher's an asshole, but I think he's a smart, funny guy.
Right.
Like, I'll admit that.
Sure.
David Cross, Bob Odenkirk, one of the funniest motherfuckers ever.
Just on this show.
Yeah, such a funny guy. And Cross on Mr. Show. That was a funny fucking show, I'll admit it. But David Cross was a writer for the pilot of Mad TV. Mm-hmm. Now, I was 27 years old. I came out here, and my manager said to me, hey, you don't know anybody out there. Maybe you want to meet some buddies, some friends in comedy. There's this great comic, David Cross from Boston, and he was in with guys I love, Louis C.K., Todd Barry. I love all those guys. Mm-hmm. And a kid named John Benjamin. And he said, so David's a writer. Go up to him and say, I know him. Hey, how you doing? And maybe you got, it's a friend you can make,
right.
So I'm sure Cross was mad he had to make money writing for the pilot of Mad TV because I'm sure that was beneath him, right. On some level.
Sure.
Like Janine Garofalo badmouths every fucking studio movie, then she's in every shitty studio movie, Yeah. It's that type of thing,
No, I know. It's like, it is that sort of thing where you never stop complaining about your dad and your stepmom, but you're 26. How about you get a fucking job and move out?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you wouldn't have to complain about your dad making the rules.
Right.
Which is, look, there's an easy way not to have to be involved with shitty studio movies.
Right.
Make some money doing something else.
Yeah.
And don't take it, or take the money and shut the fuck up.
Right. Like Janine, if you don't want to be in Mystery Men and The Truth About Cats and Dogs, go build decks for a living. What the fuck? Or do your great stand-up act. So I go up to David Cross. So he probably wasn't happy with his life being there, and I guess he was trying to do Mr. Show, And everybody was really nice. So I go up to him after one of the network read-throughs, and I say, David, the manager's name was Ken Trush. Mm-hmm. I said, hey, David, my name's Artie Lange, and Ken Trush told me to say hi to you. How you doing? And he looked at me and said, yeah, whatever, man. And he just walked away. Mm-hmm. Now, that's all he's ever done to me. He acted like an asshole, like an arrogant prick. Like, he's like, you're a cast member. I should be a cast member. I should be writing a show. Like, this is all stuff. He never told me this. I'm projecting it on him because I'm a crazy guinea from Jersey.
Right.
But he gave me what we call a high hat.
Sure.
An arrogant sort of like, fuck off. That's the look he gave me.
Right.
And that's the only thing he ever did to disparage me. But since then, I hate him because, I guess it's my problem. But I thought he was going to be my friend. And I said something nice to him, and he goes, whatever, because of whatever bitterness he had.
Right.
And
that's it. That's all it took.
That's all it took. And I have a bad temper, and I hold a grudge. And
evidently, because that was like 1997?
95.
95. It's been a little
We've
while.
never talked, me and David, about it. It's like in Raging Bull after De Niro throws his wife in the bedroom because she overcooked the steak.
Right.
And then he goes, oh, come on, honey, let's be friends.
Come on, yeah.
Let's be friends, honey. If I see David, I'll say, come on, Dave, let's be friends.
Yeah.
Because, he could apologize to me for giving me the high hat at Mad TV, and I'll apologize to him for not laughing at his shit jokes on Stern.
Well, when he comes on Stern, is there tension there?
Well, he doesn't come on anymore because he bombed. As a matter of fact, Fred the next day on the air said, someone asked the best and worst guest ever, and Fred said something like, the best is Paul McCartney, and then Fred said, this was so great because I love Fred. Fred's just a genius. He goes, and the worst was that comic we had on yesterday, David Cross.
Jesus Christ.
But look, Mr. Show, real funny. I admit it's funny, but he treated me like an asshole. Odenkirk, I think, is hilarious. I never really met the guy. I like the show, but I'm being honest with you. I wanted to fucking throw him out a window.
Well, what is it?
Cross, I wanted to throw out a window.
So sober now, 2.5 months.
Clearly, I'm over my anger.
Yeah, losing weight.
Yeah. People think I'm on coke now because I'm losing weight.
No, you can lose weight without coke.
You can?
Well, Valerie Bertinelli evidently.
Whatever. Look who she was married to.
Well.
No, I don't know.
Was.
I don't know.
So.
No, right. I this is all. I'm losing weight healthy. I play hoops. I play a lot of basketball.
But it's hard. So it's hard because you have a crazy schedule where you have to get up at the crack of fuck, and then when you're selling out Madison Square Garden or wherever it is.
Well, I'm not Dane Cook.
And the money.
I'm selling out 3,000, 5,000
5,000 seat venues.
Like I'm playing the Beacon Theater in November in New York. That's like a legendary place, and
And there's good money in that. I mean, there's.
I make an average of about $80,000 a night.
Right.
Doing stand up.
So it's hard to say no.
Hey, look, my father was climb roofs for a living.
Right.
And after he fell and died, we were on welfare. So someone says, you know how many roofs my old man had to climb to make 80 grand? I don't think he made 80 grand in fucking 5 years. So someone says, we're going to give it to you for an hour of dick jokes. I'm going to say no.
I know. I was actually just yelling at my wife the other day about.
Good for you.
How, 200.
What, was she not listening again, Adam?
Yes, 250,000. Well, she may have been listening, but her gaze was down toward the ground. And I said,
disrespect.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
you ever hear that joke? Mm-mm. What do you tell? What do you say to a woman with two black eyes? Nothing. You already told her twice.
That's the beauty of the podcast.
I don't agree with that, but it's funny.
I said, 200,000 guys are crippled or die every year falling off ladders.
Right.
Not one chick ever falls off a ladder. And
unless she's blowing Will Chamberlain
right.
on a ladder.
I said, I know chicks who, when the light bulb goes out in the entry hall, will just stare at it for a year. And I'll go, how about you change the fucking light bulb? And they go, I can't reach it.
Right.
And I said to my wife, listen.
I can't reach it.
I said, look, if I took...
You can reach my wallet, cunt.
If I took...
If you put your wallet on the light bulb, she'll reach it.
Yeah, I should hang it from the ceiling.
Put your fucking Amex card on the fucking light bulb, she'll reach it.
I said, if I took a chimpanzee and hung a banana from the fucking ceiling, in 2 hours that chimp would figure out how to get to the banana.
Right.
In 1 year, you can't figure out how to get to the light bulb?
So as banana is to chimp, Amex card is to woman.
Yes.
Exactly. That's what you're trying to say. I'm not saying it.
And guys, and I know your dad had a horrible accident falling off a ladder. Joel McHale's dad had a horrible accident.
I knew that about Joel.
Falling off a ladder.
I think Joel's very funny. But I didn't know.
Funny and nice.
But I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that. Yeah.
Well, what happens is guys climb ladders.
Right.
And they spend their whole life climbing ladders.
That's what my old man
And at a
does.
certain point, it's the same thing they do with driving, which is fuck it, I can drive.
Right.
It is, but you're 85 and you've mistook the gas pedal for the brake and the brake for the gas. You now plowed through a farmer's market and ran over 80 people in Santa Monica. You still think, and you're pissed they took your license, by the way. And so guys get into their
excuse me, I have emphysema.
Guys get into their 60s and they go, I'm not going to pay some Mexican $80 to clean out the gutters. I'll do it myself.
Why pay a Mexican $80 for anything?
Hey, right. I can get up on this ladder and I can clean it out myself, except for you're in your 60s. You've been drinking pretty good for the last 40 years. You have cataracts. Your grip isn't what it was. The ladder's not been set up properly, and it's raining, and you get up and you fall off. All these guys fall off.
I know. Well, I mean, look.